We'll just wait for a few more minutes while all the participants actually join in. I can see a few of the participants have already logged in. We have Jerome, Jeremy, Jabir, Francis. Can you all use the chat box just to say hi and just say which country are you from? I just left a comment hi on the chat box. So we have Ivy from Malaysia. We have Nelson from Hong Kong. We have Jeremy from Singapore. We have Jabir from Dubai. Welcome aboard. I think most of you know me already. I have spoken to Jeremy, I've spoken to Jerome, and I've spoken to Nelson as well. I've spoken to Ivy. Welcome aboard. We'll wait for a few more minutes while we get all the participants. Nikki, hi Nikki. I think we interacted via emails. Just one more minute. Right now. So everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Ankit Mishra, and I work as a team leader for the outreach team at Emeritus. I've been with the organization for about 4.5 years, and I've been looking after this Chief Strategy Officer course for the last 2 years right now. Once again, welcome aboard, and I'll quickly go ahead with the agenda for today, what actually we will be reviewing. Next slide, please. So today we'll be talking about program details as to how long is the program, how many hours you have to commit in the program every week, what sort of assignments, etc. Who is this program for? So we'll talk about the eligibility criteria for the course. We'll talk about the speaker, that is Professor Andrew Delius. We'll talk about NUS Business School, of course. What are the advantages? Why to do this course from NUS Business School? What are the post-program benefits? Professor will be talking about the curriculum. Then we will have a Q&A session with Professor Andrew directly. I will again talk about program highlights, success coach, certification. I'll talk about emeritus as well, next steps, and finally, the question and answer session. Next slide, please. Program details. So this course is Chief Strategy Officer course by NUS Business School Executive Education. It is a 9 to 10 months program that actually starts on 29th of March. It's completely online, which means as long as you have a laptop or a smartphone with good internet connection, you would be able to access this course from anywhere. And what all you need to commit in the program is around 5 hours on an average every week. These 5 hours, again, are flexible, which means you can spend maybe an hour every day, maybe 2 or 3 hours over the weekend each. So it's very flexible. In the program, you guys will have a dedicated success coach. These success coaches are basically subject matter experts who have been following corporate strategies in their careers for a very long time. And they will be your first point of contact for any question, any doubt that you might have. And they will also conduct one live interactive session every week. These live sessions with the success coach, they usually happen over the weekends. That is on a Saturday between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Singapore time. However, if you happen to miss any of the live session, a recorded video will be available on the learning platform for you to watch at a later time. So attendance is not mandatory for these sessions. We're also looking at 2 live interactive sessions with the faculty directly during the course. We're looking at around 4 to 5 live interactive sessions with the industry experts, like a CEO or a CSO themselves. So they will be sharing their journey, how they reached to the top. If we talk about the fees, the total tuition fees of the program is $13,500 US. You will have an option to pay the fees in full go, or if you want to pay in 4 installments, you can do that. Right now, we are running a promotion. As long as you submit the application by 15th, we are offering you $1,000 as tuition assistance, which means $1,000 will be reduced from the total fees, and the effective cost will be $12,500. You will also have an option to pay the fees in 4 installments, and there is a gap of 2 months between each payment. So that's the program details. Next slide, please. Success coach, as I said, you will have a dedicated success coach in the program. So his name is Dr. Charles Chow Rong Phua. He is an adjunct associate professor at NUS. He did his PhD from NUS too. Right now, he runs his own strategic management consulting company in Singapore. So he's the CEO, and he has written a couple of books on strategy as well. So he will be your success coach or mentor throughout the program. You will also have an option to get into one-on-one coaching or one-on-one mentorship with a success coach as well. That is also a part of the program. You don't have to pay anything extra for that. Let's say if you're facing any business problems at work, and let's say if you learn anything in the course, any framework which you want to implement, your success coach will help you to solve that problem using the framework which you will be learning in the program. Next slide, please. Who is this program for? So every organization looking for business success requires strategic leadership. Whether you're responsible for developing an organization's strategy to improve technology or identifying and implementing new technologies, you can benefit from this comprehensive program. CSOs, future CSOs, senior management, corporate vice presidents, or consultants responsible for strategy formulation and execution will also benefit from this informative learning experience. So we have a prerequisite in this program. We look at participants who have at least 10 years of professional work experience. And out of those 10 years, 5 years has to be at a leadership role. That is a prerequisite. Having said that, we usually target participants who have more than 15 to 20 years of work experience. Just to give you an example, in our last cohort, we had around 30 participants who enrolled. The average work experience of the participant was 20 years. We had CEOs of the organization, head of strategy, vice president strategy, senior director. These are the kind of profiles we are looking at. So apart from learning, there will be a lot of peer-to-peer learning and a lot of networking opportunity that will be there in the program. Next slide, please. So right now, I'll ask Professor Andrew to take over, and he will introduce himself, and he will take over the next slides.
Okay, thank you very much. And apologize for the ambient noise in the background. I'm actually at NUS, but I'm in an outdoor area at NUS. And there just happens to be an unfortunately loud karaoke session occurring very, very close to me. But in any case, here we are, and welcome to this information session. My name is Andrew Delios. I'm basically head side of this program. I put it together in tandem with this team and our executive for anybody who's moving into a strategic role in the enterprise. Any ideas, frameworks, concepts, ways of thinking, which is, I guess, the best way to describe, they should have if they are thinking about strategy. Strategy has evolved to the point where it's a very clear function of just a couple of individuals in the organization that wasn't very transparent, that was a bit elusive, and was best applied when it was most secret. The idea was the strategy was a key competitive advantage of a company, and the more we kept that hidden from other companies, the better we had to leverage from the unique strategy. Now the thinking is completely opposite. Strategies need to be created, documented, shared, and spread throughout the organization, and that's the premise we take in the way in which we put strategy to you. I've been working with these strategy ideas for more than a quarter century since I began my PhD study here, which is a leading business school in Canada, I would argue, and many others would as well, for developing managers and for developing MBA students and for developing leaders. I've been situated in Asia for I completed my PhD where I was living in Japan, and then I went to Canada to do my PhD. I am Canadian, by the way. And then after that, I came to Hong Kong for 3 years, and now I've been in Singapore for going on 22 years. My current role at NUS Business School, aside from being a full-time faculty member and a professor, is the Vice Dean of the MSc programs, which is a business unit in and of itself, where we have about 25 to 30 people running the unit, and we bring in about 700 students per year. And yeah, it's a for-profit entity. So actually, some of the ideas we talk about here are applied on a small scale in this within this program. Okay, next slide, please. NUS Business School itself has gone through a very painful but successful climb from where it was when it was first founded more than 50 years ago. It was primarily accounting school, to where it was when I joined in the late 1990s to where it is today, which is the leader in Asia. And the university itself is routinely ranked in the top 25 and often in the top 12 to 10 universities worldwide. The business school itself and its various programs have a multiple, all reflective of the fact that we're deeply dedicated to our task of both generating and disseminating business across the region. Now, when I say across the region, one of our foci is, in fact, to be contextually relevant to businesses in Asia. There are some underlying principles to strategy, to the conduct of firms, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm sorry about the voice quality, but you know, this is the legacy of our age. There are some principles of strategy that apply globally, but there are definitely some special aspects that relate to Asia, and we try to connect as much as possible. And you'll find that each of the 5 faculty, inclusive of myself, who are in this program, do indeed contextualize to a great deal and provide many examples, most examples from this region of the world. So not only will you gain a good general knowledge that's equivalent to what you'd see at just about any school, whether it was situated here in this part of the world or in Europe or North America, you would see the examples that are more immediately relevant to Asia, the Middle East, and whatnot. Okay, let's go on to the next slide, please. So how do we put together this information? Next slide, please. Pillar, one is on basic execution of the strategies, and the third one is more of a transversal theme, which is how we think of ourselves as leaders, which you get insight from the 2 people involved in the global leadership part, as well as from some of the that were mentioned from our visiting corporate leaders who will be providing this, and I'll be running modules 1 to 3 as well as modules 7 to 9. The first modules 1 to 3 is the picture or the mindset of strategy that we have in the contemporary world, where it's a mindset and a process within the organization that allows it to have some functionality. Then this will be cascaded to Nitin Pangarkar, who will talk about global strategy issues and these 3 different topics that are relevant there, which are how global do we need to be versus how local, as well as how do we compete in emerging markets, which are very prominent in Asia and the Middle East. And finally, we talk about growth modes, which are alliances and joint ventures, which I'll also cascade to in module 9, where I talk a little bit about joint ventures, but also link into M&A strategy. In addition to that, we talk about environmental analysis, because if we're going to contextualize strategies to the environment, we've got to understand how to apply them within the environment. So module 7 and module 8, they provide particularly unique information that you find difficult to access in any other program. And I'm very confident that, because I know to make that statement, and it's not a false bragging kind of statement. It is a reality of the unique knowledge set that we have operating in this part of the world and situated as we are. Then finally, modules 10, 11, and 12 relate to governance issues, as well as sustainability and risk. So these are more contextualizations to how we govern the firms, and of course how we relate to broader levels, broader set of strategic objectives other than profitability. Finally, we get to global leadership. This is done by USA and UNK, and you can see the points here: global teams, networking, understanding yourself as a leader, leading change, so on and so forth. All of these are skill sets that you have already, but these are skill sets that can never stop being developed and improved. So each of these represent distinct bodies of work, and we'll have examples and videos and applications to each of these areas, and you'll progress to them sequentially over the first few months of the program. In addition to these, as we'll show on the next slide, we have a series of options where you can choose 2 specific functional areas in the business, such as digital marketing, services marketing, or a more technical one, which is business analytics for strategic decisions. So those are all standalone entities. And then finally, we conclude with a 1-day campus experience or networking event where you come to campus. Actually, we're doing our next one in just 1 week from now, and you get to see everybody together And we have a couple of guest speakers, one from the industry side, one from the academic side. We do a corporate visit. We have a nice dinner. We have a great way to conclude the program. Moreover, during the course of the program, we try to create events that link people from other cohorts of this program. I believe we're in the 6th cohort now, and so we have about almost 200 people, inclusive of yourself, who have been part of this program, and we want to provide the opportunities to link to those individuals. So your network, which is connected to this program, is much broader than the 20 to 30 people, very good people who you'll meet in this program as you go through the various steps of it, right? So we want you to, of course, get the contextual material. We want to make it convenient to you through the asynchronous format. We want to connect you to the academic world or the people who are constituents of the program, such as myself and Charles. And we also want you to broaden your network to the other people who are at a similar stage and similar aspiration point of your career. And this is how we put it together in a package once. Next, please. There we are. We're at the Q&A. And again, I apologize for the audio quality, but definitely the videos are a much higher quality. Emeritus does a great job on production value. They're exceptional. So please don't infer the quality of the communications from the 15 minutes that we spend with you now. Questions, please feel free to just pipe in. We're a small enough group, you can just start speaking if you want, or just put it in the chat box and I'll do what I can to answer the question. Is the course administered live on Zoom or is it pre-recorded? Okay, good question. Yes, everything is pre-recorded except for the few synchronous sessions. So we'll call these asynchronous and synchronous. The asynchronous sessions constitute about 90% of the program content, or 80%, something like this. That's where you'll have packaged materials that are about 7 to 8 minutes, roughly on average about 7 minutes long. But there will be several of them for each module, which will cascade to about 45 to 50 minutes of viewing, or 45 to 60 minutes of viewing. You'll review those materials at your own pace, and then you'll have sessions where you work with a coach, and then we'll also have a couple of live sessions, one of which will be with me, where we'll actually work through some ideas. So for example, in the session you have with me, we're going to be talking about contemporary issues related to strategy implementation, and we'll be reviewing a case. Actually, we'll talk about Microsoft in that case and its growth from where it was 20 years ago to where it is today under Satya Nadella, and how it's changed its inside to match its strategy outside. That will be a live session together. But largely, the attraction of this program is you have proprietary asynchronous material that allows you to do that is administered via the learning platform, which is Canvas, and provides you the asynchronous videos that you link to, review, and complete the associated work and assignments. Emeritus team, what should we do from this point here, please?
Professor, there is a question from Kevin. How is CSO program different from CEO program?
I don't know which CEO program they're referring to. Or that they just mean in general?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, a CEO program would be looking more about the broad level leadership of the firm, whereas a CSO program focuses specifically on the cultivation of skills required to develop and implement strategy for the company, right? So the CEO has a broader mandate than this. Of course, they are responsible for strategy as well, but this is specifically looking at how do I develop expertise in strategy. And again, as I mentioned, strategy has a very unique body of knowledge to it. And for successful application in competitive markets, we need to be able to cultivate this body of knowledge. Now, some people do this intuitively, but we could also do finance intuitively. We can do many things intuitively. We provide structure and design that allows people to gain the skills needed to join in strategy conversations in a sensible way and design effective strategies for their organization. So that's the difference. Is a CSO is a subset of what a CEO would do. It's like a deep dive into a vertical. CEO would have to know finance, but they would have a broader mandate than a CFO. So we think about all the C-suite people, CFO, as CFO, maybe Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Sustainability Officer. Well, this kind of CSO would be one who is focused more on strategy. Now, it can also just be a part of what the CEO does. If we're leading our own companies and we want to augment our strategy knowledge, but it's a subset of the broader set of knowledge that the CEO would have in the company. Are they content-based or case study-based, the material? Oh, there's three things that we'll have for the materials. Number one, there's a deep, what can I say, strong pedagogical and academic grounding to the videos, right? So it's not just giving you 15 examples of companies and allow you to digest those materials and intuitively form your own conclusions. We'll provide frameworks. We'll provide a systematic way to understand that information that's grounded in our own knowledge of what we do, as well as in our research and our observations. Then this is exemplified through various kinds of illustrations that we'll give of companies that have done or not done well using these various principles. Then third, there will be some case studies where we apply those ideas and exemplify them. Then the fourth thing would be is we encourage you to apply the ideas to your own organization. So we move from the general formative ideas to examples that reinforce those ideas, and then to the specifics where those ideas are applied to complete the learning loop, so to speak.
Gayatri, you can write your question in the Q&A box, please.
How much is there interaction with other classes? As much as possible. We structure these again through the synchronous sessions. You have the interaction. We create opportunities for you guys to come together physically in Singapore. Charles is awesome at doing this. Charles, who's your primary point of contact throughout the program on the academic side, he's a marvelous individual in terms of cultivating a sense of community amongst the participants. We absolutely want you to be committed to getting to know the classmates, right? This means camera on when you guys are together. This means following those opportunities to meet. Maybe we'll say, hey, let's 6:30 p.m. Let's hold a get together at NUS Business School, which might or might not be possible for some of you if you're in Singapore or not, or if you're coming through Singapore, we'd encourage you to interact with others. And then of course we have the final session as well, where everybody comes together. So I wouldn't say you're going to be meeting everybody every day, but you'll have multiple opportunities throughout the program to have interaction with the other people in the program. Okay, what type of assessments would be assigned? I'll leave that to our team. Would there be a live case study based discussion? Yes. Can you please give some details around the CSO playbook? Okay, great question, Jerome. CSO playbook is actually what we put together is, as we go through the frameworks, we develop a series of exercises that more or less reinforce each of the learning points. Now, these are also linked together to form that kind of playbook. So essentially, we're giving you the various pieces, various plays, which together then constitute the playbook. So the playbook is your application of the ideas that we presented either conceptually or by example or by case discussion. So that would be the purpose of the CSO playbook and the design of it. Is there exam after the sessions? I'll leave that to the team as well. It's a tricky question, but in your opinion, is there enough unique and specific material presented in this course to make it real use for someone who already holds an MBA? Okay, Daniel, Danielle, that depends where you did your MBA and when you did your MBA. Strategy has evolved dramatically from a topic, from a topic area that was taught in business schools even as much as 10 years ago. And 25 years ago, it's changed considerably, more so than the way we teach finance and whatnot. Now, is it really, really unique? Again, that depends on who taught strategy and how they taught. If you taught strategy, let me put it to you this way. If you taught strategy, learning about 5 forces, learning about SWOT analysis, if those are the things that come to mind when you see strategy, then I'd say then what was taught to you within the MBA program is not consistent with the way we think about strategy in the present day. So in that sense, I would say yes, it's different. A very recent MBA from Warwick. Well, I'd have to check and see what Warwick did. Again, I really can't answer that question about the contextual knowledge. But again, if your strategy was all about these analytical frameworks that allowed you to understand industry and so forth, okay, great. If your exposure to strategy was how to make effective decisions to position your market effectively to win in your markets and then develop success measures around it, and it would be duplicated. If it's not, then it would. Is Hamilton Helmer 7 in the course? No, it's. Danielle, to help you with that question, if you forwarded me a syllabus from your strategy course, my email address is here. I'll put it in the chat box. I can provide you with a more specific answer to your question, because the last thing is to waste your time in this program. So I could be more specific and I could point out areas that could help you with your decision making, because it is a decision making. There's a financial cost, but I think for more of you, it's the opportunity cost of your time that's the most critical aspect to it. And the last thing I'd want you to do is to feel like you weren't, this program wasn't for you after you joined it and made the financial and psychological commitment. Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. I think we're to the point where we move on to our emeritus team. I'm going to be leaving the call now, but I hope to see you virtually through the program, and then also in our live sessions. I have some postgraduate programs like general management. Don't you have the postgraduate program in strategy? Actually, yes, we do. We have a specific program at NUS called the Master of Science in Strategy and Innovation. But that's more for pre-experience, not post-experience people. So the market positioning is somewhat different. And we believe market positioning is really important because we want you to be in a group of people, going back to the earlier question about what is our cohort like. We want you to be in a group of people who are at a similar stage of your learning process. Our postgraduate program in strategy is more focused at people, who are more junior in the organizations. So the discussions are a little bit more elementary and less practical because they don't have that experience to meld with the contextual knowledge. But yeah, we do have that postgraduate program. We abbreviate it MSI. It's called MSc in Strategy and Innovation at NUS Business School. All right, folks. All of you have a good evening, and thank you very much for the opportunity. And again, my sincere apologies. My sincere apologies for the audio quality, if indeed it was poor. In terms of postgraduate contents, I'll leave that to Chi. Your contact information, Pandora, and then she can contact me, and I can provide you the accurate link to that postgraduate to those postgraduate contents. All right, everybody. See you all. Thank you, Emeritus team. Are you taking over now?
Yes. Thank you, Professor.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. Can we have the next slide, please? Program highlights. So it's a comprehensive program design. We are looking at 18 modules in the program. We are looking at pre-recorded video lectures by the faculty of NUS. Of course, we are looking at live interactive sessions with the success coach that will happen on every Saturday. 2 live interactive sessions with the faculty and around 5 to 6 live interactive sessions with the industry experts. You will have access to the success coach, as we already discussed. He will be the one who will be conducting live sessions every week. Upon successful completion of the course, you will get an executive education certificate, which comes directly from NUS Business School. You will have a one-day campus networking event, which happens at the university itself. You will have the opportunity to meet the success coach, faculty, Professor Andrew, and the other participants who will be enrolling in the program. You will be a part of CSO Playbook as well. This Professor Andrew explained what CSO Playbook is. It's basically you will learn how to implement your learning in a real world scenario. And you will have an option to choose 2 electives out of 3. And of course, you will have the post-program benefits as well. So post-program benefits is you will become a part of NUS Business School Executive Education LinkedIn group, which is a close-knit group which has around 5,000 participants who have done programs like Masters and MBA from NUS. So that gives you an opportunity of networking and reaching out. You will also become a part of a WhatsApp group wherein we'll have all the participants who have done this program with us in the past. So let's say if you're planning to enroll, by the time you will finish, we are looking at around 160, 170 participants in that group. So that again gives you an opportunity of networking and reaching out. Next slide, please. So that's the certificate which you will get from NUS Business School. Once you will attach this certificate on your LinkedIn profile, that will enhance the value of your profile altogether. Next slide, please. Emeritus. So we Emeritus, we work as an education platform where we have collaborations with the top universities in the world. NUS Business School has collaborated with Emeritus to create online courses. Emeritus has served over 250,000 students from across the world. And this particular course, that is NUS Chief Strategy Officer Program, this will be the 7th cohort, which is starting right now on 29th of March, 2024. Next slide, please. So yes, if you have any more questions, any doubts, you can ask me right now, or you can simply call at this number. You can drop an email to info@emeritus.org. If anyone wants to apply, if you have any more questions, I will drop my email address too. Feel free to drop me an email. Any more questions, anybody? Next slide, please. I have left my email address in the chat box. If anyone has any concerns, feel free to drop me an email. Thanks, Danielle. Thank you for attending the webinar. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Any more questions? Thank you, Jeremy. Have a good evening. Right, if we don't have any more questions, so I think it's time to wrap up. We look forward to welcome you all in the course. I've left my email address. You have the Emeritus email address as well. Feel free to drop us an email for any more questions, any more doubts that you might have. We look forward to your application, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.